Hey everyone, I have got a message for you guys which I want to share for some of you who don't know, kind of a bit of a funny situation that's happening in Australia based on a more serious note, but it's turning out kind of crazy. And it's been interesting because I connect all my clients from all across the world, all across the globe, and I've been able to connect with a bunch of them today. And it's funny, the whole topic of the world's lips right now is around the coronavirus and whatever's going on there. And basically, we were talking about, how it's affected all of the different countries. I was speaking to people from all over the globe today. And basically what kind of came up was some of them knew what was going on, the crazy stuff that's happening here in Australia right now, which I'll share with you guys. And some of them had no idea. And I thought it was really interesting because so the coronavirus has happened. Let me just tell you what's going to happen and then we'll get it. We'll be on the same page. The coronavirus happening. What's happening here in Australia is that everybody's going a bit nuts and everybody is buying or like overstocking themselves with toilet paper of all things, right? And I'd seen kind of funny memes on my Facebook feed. I'd seen heard people joking about it or whatever. But I literally went down to the supermarket today and the same thing was true in my store. And there was not a scrap of toilet paper to be found, right, on the shelves. And I thought, what the hell? Why are we doing this? And, why is it that Australia's doing this? It's not that our toilet paper is produced overseas. Majority of it is produced here locally. So what is the go? And it turns out it's this FOMO going around, right? People have a fear of missing out. If the coronavirus hits, they're not going to have any toilet paper, right? And so it's kind of a crazy situation, but it got me thinking, not only this situation, but a bunch of others that I want to dive into with you, about how we succumb to FOMO, with this fear of missing out for making our decisions and, sharing what us Aussies are doing, which is just so crazy regarding just clearing the shelves of toilet paper in the fear of the coronavirus hitting us. And of course, that's the number one priority, that we need to have toilet paper. It's just a funny angle on the concept that I want to dive into with you guys today. But fear of missing out is a real thing and it drives us to make not the greatest choices in life, right? So when we have a fear of missing out, we're operating in a place of scarcity and we're operating in the timeline of now, right? We're fearful of what's coming in the very near future, right? We're not expanding our timeline out and seeing everything in perspective and looking at the whole scheme of things. We're actually getting really caught up in fear of missing out, and I'm in a scarcity mindset. And what it does is it makes us make some of the worst decisions we could possibly make. Not only when it comes to, some sort of epidemic worldwide, and we go a little nuts there, but really it can make us make the wrong decision when we are, we've got an opportunity in front of us in whatever form that might come in. Maybe it's in an opportunity with your job, your position. Maybe it's in an opportunity with a relationship. Maybe it's an opportunity, to move locations, whatever the opportunity may be. If we have a fear of missing out because we get attached to something in our external world that we could supposedly lose or miss the opportunity of, we oftentimes race into things way too quickly, or we do things for the wrong reasons, and we end up, instead of fast tracking our success, we end up sacrificing our success because we jumped in too early and we created a hell of a lot more work for us to do. So how does this play out? Some interesting things have been happening for me recently, and one of them is that different people have been coming to me and asking me for my coaching services. And you'd think, yep, you're in business, of course that's what you want. You want people to come to you and want to work with you. But what's being presented to me time and time again is this question of like, is that a good fit? Right? Is that the kind of person that you do want to be working with? And it's been interesting being presented to me because, if I was in a scarcity mindset, I could get caught up in the fear of missing out. And if I was focused on it for the money, I'd be like, I'm just going to sell myself for that money. As opposed to, having clarity, having vision, knowing what you value, knowing what you stand for, knowing what you stand against, knowing the quality of connections that you're here to experience and that you won't settle for less than, and when you don't have that level of clarity, it's very easy to get caught up in the momentary opportunity. I've had a few different things happen just recently. They needed a speaker. Like all of a sudden somebody needs a speaker. I got invited to, go and do that. And, it was something I actually had to consider because there's part of me that's just like, absolutely exciting, jump at the opportunity and whatever. And then there's the other part of me that's like, hang on, like don't break your commitments, and just see what, like you can race into this or you can, investigate and research who these people are, what they're doing. And anyway, I've done that and it turns out it's a hell of a lot better for me to not fall into FOMO, fear of missing out, and just jump into something when without going into the whole depths of it all. It would be better for me to actually hold off from that for right now. So I'm just saying that, we can tend to do this in relationship as well, right? We can, meet somebody and, my past self has been very much in the moment. And then you think, well, I've met this person. But if you watch how we play out in our relationships, human nature is to fall in love with an infatuated idea or concept around a person or a potential, and then we just jump straight into that without expanding the timeline, without getting clear on what we do want, what we don't want, and we lack that vision and that clarity. So we actually fall into the scarcity mindset of just fear of missing out, better make it happen right here, right now, right? And so something that I've been working on a lot in my life is getting out of the fear of missing out and actually expanding my timeline, because that's what you got to do. You got to take a meta perspective on your life and look at like, what is it that I want in whatever area of my life this is? If I'm looking at relationships, like what is it that I truly want in my long-term future? What is it that I want in my business? And who are the kind of people that I want to be working with, right? And, what are these opportunities presenting themselves? And and what is it that I want in that realm? The clearer you are, the more you take, expand your timeline out, you have clear vision of what you want, you know what you value, you know what's meaningful to you, you will stop succumbing to the fear of missing out in terms of making your decisions from that place, and you'll actually enter a more abundant mindset, right? Because fear of missing out is in total scarcity, thinks it's going to miss out of an opportunity, and having an abundant mindset is having, that patience and that clarity and that, that abundant outlook is, if it doesn't work, if I don't get this one opportunity, it's not going to mean the end of the world. Like it might mean that you do need to act upon that, or it might mean that, okay, that just sparks something within me, but I'm not going to just like stop everything going on in my life just to, make sure that I get this one opportunity. Or if you're like us Aussies, you're just going to go out there and stockpile all the toilet paper. I don't know where you're going to fit it all, but at the end of the day, we do crazy things when we get caught up in FOMO and fear of missing out, and we don't want to do that. We want to stay in abundant mindset, have patience, have clarity of vision, take a longer term perspective, and just have faith that things are going to work out the way that they need to, right? So hoping that this is resonating with you guys. I know we can all kind of fall into that FOMO. I speak to clients all the time who are like, they're in a pit of just needing some self-care, right? Like needing to actually take care of themselves. They're burnt the hell out, they're in their career, looking after their family members, doing things for their friends, all this sort of stuff. And then they think, okay, this weekend it's just going to be for me. I'm going to recoup. I'm just going to do all those things I know I really need to do for myself. And then what happens? The invite to Saturday night or whatever. And then there's the FOMO. And then they never get out of that cycle of just feeling totally burnt out and exhausted, right? To the point they're getting sick. This happens all the time. And it's definitely where my past self used to live and reside, almost practically full time. I have to say probably full time, right? So, have an abundant mindset, have vision, have clarity. The clearer you are, the less likely you'll fall into that scarcity mindset of FOMO, and don't let that be driving your decisions, because although you think it's fast tracking what you want to do, if you make it from that place and you haven't thought things through, it's most likely that you won't be in alignment, and you'll end up having to clean up the mess of your past FOMO mistakes, and that takes a hell of a lot longer. So I definitely want to check in with you guys. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom or anything you'd like to just drop me a comment with? I'd love to check in with you, and I definitely want to check in. So who's been able to join me? I've got Madeline, good to see you, beautiful. And Angie's here, and Justin, much love to you, my friend. And Jared's here as well. And Ashton, good to see you. And Jared, wishing you a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, it's going to be an action-packed, crazy weekend, but I can't wait to check in with you guys again. And I hope you have an amazing weekend there too, Jared, and all the rest of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me live. So appreciated. And as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. Thanks again to those who could join me. Hope this just kicks you into gear, makes you think about where you're letting fear of missing out rule your decisions. Not going to end well, unfortunately. So check that out and know that you've just got to build your patience, take a longer term perspective, know what your vision is, what you want, and know what you value. That will help you to, weed out all the scarcity mindset, come from a place of abundance, and actually achieve and create the quality of life that you truly desire. All right, and Justin, great. Vanessa, great relationship guide. Oh, good. I'm glad that you were able to download the breakdown cycle for relationships, and that was valuable to you, Justin. Thank you so much for letting me know. You guys who haven't grabbed your copy, you can do so from my website. Just scroll through. I've got a bunch of freebies there. Hope you enjoy. I read it. It's powerful information. I'm so grateful to hear that, Justin. Thank you so much for letting me know, and for sharing that with everybody, in the hope that they will get that value too. So thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. And or Ikran or Ali, not sure. Hello to you too. That's all from me today. Don't let FOMO rule your decisions, all right? And remember that the further you move your timeline out, the less pressure you'll feel, the more patient human being you'll be, and the more abundant you'll be in your mindset. And what does abundance do? When you have that abundant mindset, you end up, creating a life that isn't like in fear and scarcity, but actually in gratitude, appreciation for all that you have and where you're going. All right? So sending you guys all of my love, and I'll see you tomorrow.